We begin Hispanic heritage with Ecuador. Ecuador is located in South America, and the book we're going to read is Galapagos, which are some islands off the coast of Ecuador. Galapagos means tortoises, and that is the book title written by Ruth Heller. Let's see some of these animals that are endangered species. Endangered species means there are very few of them, and they only live on Galapagos Island. These are some of those animals that we are going to talk about. Let's begin. These islands of enchantment are the archipelago formed by the eruption and the torrid lava flow of the furious volcanoes 10 million years ago. Now tortoises, iguanas, and boobies by the score, and animals you may have never seen before, live upon these islands 600 miles from shore. These islands called Galapagos belong to Ecuador. And these are some of them. Giant tortoises. These Galapagos giants are all legendary from island to island. Their shapes seem to vary. Attached to their bones on their backs are their homes, shells that are shaped like saddles or domes. Those with a dome are usually found grazing on grasses close to the ground, like this one. Others can dine in rather high places because of their saddle-shaped carapaces. So it looks like this one. Water and mud are their chosen domain. They wallow in puddles made by the rain. They loudly expel a conspicuous hiss whenever they feel that something's amiss. They're sluggish and heavy and usually slow unless they have somewhere important to go. Blue-footed boobies. They prance and dance and retreat and advance. They spread their wings as they romance. They exchange small gifts like feathers and twigs as they show off their feet and dance their jigs. And it is their feet, and it is true, their feet are blue. But they are not just pretty feet. They generate warmth and radiate heat. Wow. Now, feet that radiate heat, that is something I've never heard before. Then 3 eggs the female lays, and with those feet for 40 days, both parents help to incubate. They equally participate. They fly through the air with the greatest of ease and plunge right down into shallow seas. Both parents fish. They fish a lot and feed their chicks with what they've caught. A booby chick soon grows white fluff and looks just like a powder puff. Red-footed boobies. In a bush or a tree near the beach by the sea, the red-footed boobies nest. They're rather small as boobies go, their feathers brown or white as snow. Their feet are webbed, they nest in trees, unusual for birds like these. Their legs are short, and on the ground they waddle as they walk around. But when they fly far out to sea, their skin they wave the waves so gracefully, searching for their favorite dishes, tentacles, squid, and flying fishes. With one little booby, each couple is blessed because only 1 egg is laid in each nest. 1 only? Wow, that's pretty sad. Masked boobies. They're the largest of the boobies that we have so far seen. They're bluish black around the eyes and look as though they're in disguise. Their feathers glisten whitely. Their wings are fringed with black. The male all whistles weakly. The females loudly quack. They're just a bit too hefty to become airborne with ease, so some live high up on a cliff and take off in the breeze. 2 eggs are laid 5 days apart, but just one chick survives. The older and the larger sees that it's the one that thrives. And unfortunately, that happens not only in boobies, but in other types of birds. Land iguanas. Land iguanas, brown and gold, are in the morning very cold. In the sun they bask a lot, and so by noon are much too hot and have to find a shady spot. They quench their thirst from puddles of rain and liquids that their food contain. They never hesitate to feed upon a passing centipede, and to this spiny menu add cactus flower, fruit, and pad. Their throats are strong and tough enough to swallow as this quick prickly stuff. It's spiny, it's prickly, and that's how they're created. So it's very lucky that they do have that. Here come the cousins, marine iguanas. These iguanas just fed on salty seaweed. They eat nothing else. That is all that they need. They stay in the water so long, they're like ice, so they find it essential and also quite nice to bask in the sun until they get hot. If they're lucky enough to find a good spot on the volcanic rock where all of them flock. They're full of salt, they're caked in white, they snort and sneeze, they look a fright. Not a very pretty sight. They are usually black with a fringe white back, but when they play the mating game and do not want to look the same, they turn to green and red instead, like this. They have serrated teeth and short, pudgy faces so they can reach seaweed in difficult places. Half of their length is their tail, and they can grow to 5 feet if they're male. They can dive from the shore to the cold ocean floor and stay for an hour, but not anymore. In the dark, chilly waters, they like to stay down, eating red and green algae, but never brown. The smaller iguanas are quite satisfied to nibble and chew from the shore and at low tide. Here's the one that we're going to do in class. Sally Lightfoot crabs. They flourish from algae and scavenge for meat. And crawl right over the heads of and the feet of their neighbors, who don't seem to care that they're there on the black lava rock that the two of them share. They make very good meals for herons and eels. Some claim that the name of these little red flames that dart black back and forth is exactly the same as a dancer from Haiti a sailor once knew, who moved when she danced the same way that they do. Now, crabs walk sideways, like this. I don't know if she does the dance that way. Here's a sea lion. With a massive thick neck and a bump on his brow, the male is a bull, just like this one now. The female is a cow. The female is Savlit. then grace and sleek with a trimmer and a slimmer and smaller physique like this one. You see? One bull and some cows, maybe 20 or more, form a group called a harem. Wow. Right there on the shore. Their offsprings are born one pup every year on the land, in the sand, or on rocks that are near. They're nosy and noisy, they're frolic and low. They'll toss small iguanas around like a ball. On sardines and squid and urchins they dine. They're back in the beach, up and down the coastline. These gargantuan mammals recline and recline. The bachelor bulls have a beach of their own where they mate. Many are seen on the sand lying prone, like this. The bull is with his harem, protecting his pack, patrols back and forth and patrols forth and back. He's a hostile towards rivals. Look out when they clash. They'll fight and they'll bite and they'll bark and they'll splash. And that's what's happening right here in the back. Flightless cormorants. Their necks are swiny and long. Their feet are webbed and very strong. But something is completely wrong. Those tatered wings just don't belong. These birds no longer fly. They never even try. Now they leap into the deep for eels and fish and octopi, and when they're through, they come ashore and spread their wings to dry. They go courting in the water, swimming side by side, flapping wings and pointing beaks, and gurgling in the tide. The female is the architect and builder of their nest. The male supplies the flotsam. The female does the rest. Wow. Amazing. Great frigate birds, or great frigate birds. Frigate birds are great, all right. They're very graceful when in flight. They flap their wings just now and then, and fly for miles, then flap again. And they will always, always try to keep their greenest feathers dry. Because they are not waterproof, getting wet's a fatal goof. They'll never ever settle down upon the sea, or they will drown. Frigate birds are thieves. They steal from other birds that they snatch a meal. To attract an affectionate frigate mate, the males need merely to inflate the sacs of their throats that are red and small, can swell to the size of a basketball. Together they would build or steal a nest that is floppy and sloppy and rough at best, where a single egg is laid, and so if it doesn't fall out, one chick will grow. If it doesn't fall out. Greater flamingos. They feed with their heads upside down by their feet as they gracefully wade in the ooze. The pinkish brine shrimp in the salty lagoon give them their delicate hues. Cleverly hidden inside of each beak is a filter that strains all the food that they seek. A spectacular sight in the blazing sunlight are flamingos on land and flamingos in flight. The float is like swans when the water is deep, and curl their long necks on their backs when where they sleep. Their chicks are downy and gray. Flamingos all mate in a sociable way, strutting their stuff with their feathers of fluff. They flock in a pompous display. Darwin's finches. They're drab in color, small in size, 100 until you realize that each of 13 species is explicitly unique, distinguished from each other by a special kind of beak. Small beaks from leaves and lynch pluck insects that are out of luck. Beaks very large and very strong, crack nutty seeds found on the ground. Some finches are very cool that they have learned to use a tool. Others from the cactus bloom pick insects that they can consume. Still, others make delicious feasts on ticks and flies that bug these beasts, which is what you see right here. And boys and girls, that is the end of the animals that live in the Galapagos Island on the shore of Ecuador. I hope you had traveled, and if you have not, you might want to do that as soon as you got